Xiao Chen had not been here in 4 years. Now that he was back at his starting point, he revealed a faint smile. Let's go see Big Brother Mo Fan first. If there is an opportunity, I should get him to upgrade the Lunar Shadow Saber. The rank 6 Thunder Rock demonic core can no longer keep up with my strength. When the Lunar Shadow Saber was first forged, Xiao Chen was a mere insignificant martial disciple. Naturally, at that point in time, the rank 6 Thunder Rock was something that Xiao Chen could not imagine. Now that he had advanced to half-step martial monarch, he could kill a rank 6 demonic beast in a second. This demonic core was no longer appropriate for the Lunar Shadow Saber. Thus, when Xiao Chen saw a 1,000-year-old rank 9 lightning-attributed demonic core in the Heavenly Saber Pavilion's Hidden Treasure Pavilion, he immediately grabbed it. After Xiao Chen paid the entry toll, he entered the city together with the crowd. He recalled many warm memories when he saw the scenes on the two sides of the street. Xiao Chen found a restaurant in the city. After taking a seat near the window, he called over a waiter. He handed a gold tael to the waiter and said, "Just answer my questions." The gold tael dazzled the waiter's eyes. He bit on it to make sure it was real. Then, he quickly bowed and smiled. Hee, young hero, just ask whatever you want. Xiao Chen thought for a moment before asking, "In Mohe City, which clan is the strongest now?" The waiter laughed loudly and said, "Is there even a need to ask? Naturally it is our Zhang clan. As of now, half the businesses in Mohe City is controlled by our Zhang clan." Your Zhang clan? Xiao Chen frowned heavily. Something was not right. The waiter said proudly, That's right. All the restaurants and inns in the city are businesses of the Zhang clan. Although I am not a direct descendant of the Zhang clan, my family name is Zhang as well, we can be considered as part of the same sect. Xiao Chen had an unsightly look on his face as he sipped his wine. If he remembered correctly, this restaurant used to be one of the Xiao clan's businesses. What about the Xiao clan? The waiter revealed a very pleased expression as he said, "Life is full of ups and downs. 2 years ago, their strength spread throughout the entire Qizi County. However, now, they can only turtle up at the foot of Seven-Horn Mountain. Soon, they will probably lose even the Seven-Horn Mountain." Xiao Chen's heart sank. When he left the Xiao clan, he had finished off the Zhang clan, the Tang clan, and the Leng clan, which was the upper echelon of Qizi County, using the Ninth Heaven's Thunder Formation. Given the Xiao clan's strength, logically, they should not have had any opponents within Qizi County. What exactly happened in the meantime? Could it be that the noble clans that Xiao Chen once offended had made a move? That was not right. Feng Feishui promised Xiao Chen that she would prevent those noble clans from making a move on the Xiao clan. Given the Feng Yu Merchant Association's vast power, the various noble clans would definitely not have taken any impulsive actions that would be suicidal. Pa. Xiao Chen took out another 2 gold taels and handed them over. I'll ask again, what happened in the past 2 years, causing the Xiao clan to decline? When the waiter saw the 2 gold taels, his face lit up with happiness. However, a somewhat awkward expression remained on his face as he chuckled. We are just minor characters. Actually, young hero can probably guess this as well. There are some secrets that we would have no way of knowing. In any case, 2 years ago, the Xiao clan's clan head and elders were suddenly severely injured. After that, the Tang clan and Zhang clan rose to power, snatching away much of the Xiao clan's territory. Xiao Chen waved his hand and dismissed the waiter. He was not surprised at receiving such an answer. The restaurant waiter was not even a cultivator. It was easy to imagine how much he would know. Xiao Chen was just casually asking and did not bear much hope. However, Xiao Chen was now feeling a headache. Originally, he just wanted to find out about the Xiao clan's current situation. However, he had not expected to receive news about the Xiao clan being in desperate straits. I should go and speak to Big Brother Mo. With his strength, he should at least know some things that the waiter did not. Ha ha. Xiao Ling I did not expect you to come to our clan's restaurant to have a meal. Come, let's go to another place. I, Zhang Ziyang, will give you a treat. Just as Xiao Chen was preparing to pay the bill and leave, a familiar voice suddenly came from the hall downstairs. Xiao Chen thought for a bit. He found the name Zhang Ziyang familiar. After thinking for a while, Xiao Chen finally managed to drag out the memory from a corner of his mind. Zhang Ziyang was the second son of the Zhang clan's clan head. His elder brother, Zhang He, had fought with him before. While Zhang He could be considered an important character, this Zhang Ziyang was nothing. However, his tone now was extremely arrogant. As for Xiao Ling naturally, Xiao Chen did not forget her. She was one of the Xiao clan's disciples who had taken part in the trial of Gloomy Forest with him and also one of the disciples who had pleaded for mercy on his behalf. Xiao Chen also remembered the youth beside Xiao Ling That was Yi Lan, one of the Xiao clan's disciples of a different family name. He was deeply attached to Xiao Ling Even when Xiao Ling had once gotten into deep trouble, Yi Lan had been willing to risk his life to save her. It looked like the two had made some progress in their relationship. They seemed to be in some trouble now. Xiao Ling looked at Zhang Ziyang as she stood up and said, "What bad luck. We can't even eat in peace. Yi Lan, let's go." Xiao Ling was truly feeling depressed. She had been eating the food from this restaurant since she was young. This time, she wanted to come and eat here, so she could not resist bringing Yi Lan out for a meal. However, before the two could start eating, they saw the person they did not wish to see the most. Thinking of leaving, have you even asked me for permission? Zhang Ziyang snorted coldly. His subordinates immediately rushed forward and prevented the two from leaving. Yi Lan's face sank. He placed his right hand on his weapon and pulled Xiao Ling behind him. Then, he said in an icy voice, "Zhang Ziyang, what are you trying to do? Don't forget what the city lord said." Zhang Ziyang revealed a strange smile. He said, "Don't worry. Since the city lord already stopped the conflict between our clans, I will not make things difficult for you. However, how could you try to leave before even paying for the food you ordered?" Dong. Dong. Xiao Ling tossed out 2 ingots of gold on the table. She snorted and said, "Satisfied now? That is 50 taels of gold there. There is no need for change. Let's go." However, the 5 subordinates blocking the door did not move at all, nor did they have any intention of moving. These 5 subordinates were all peak martial grand masters. They were all no weaker than Yi Lan. If the 5 of them worked together, they would be able to subdue Yi Lan in an instant. Zhang Ziyang remained expressionless as he knocked the 2 ingots of gold against each other. He said in a cold voice, "Did I say that this meal is to be paid with gold? Pay us 100 inferior grade spirit stones now or forget about leaving." Xiao Ling and Yi Lan's expressions changed greatly. Xiao Ling cursed, then said, "What do you think you are selling? Even a rank 1 spirit beast banquet is not worth this price." Zhang Ziyang looked at Xiao Ling wonderful figure and a frivolous gaze appeared in his eyes. He smiled and said, "You better understand the situation here. This is the Zhang clan's restaurant. The bill is however much I say it is. Even if you are not willing, you have to pay it. I have been eyeing you for a long time already. Yet you dare to deliver yourself into the tiger's mouth. I will count to 5. If you are unable to pay the spirit stones, you will pay with your body." Zhang Ziyang looked as though he had complete control over the whole situation. Given the Zhang clan's current strength, no one could say no to them in Mohe City. Even the city lord had to give them some face. Today, he would definitely be at the advantage. 5, 4. As Zhang Ziyang started counting down, the 5 men at the door smiled maniacally. They locked their auras on the 2, preparing to make a move. 1. Attack. Zhang Ziyang shouted coldly. The 5 men immediately pounced, scaring Xiaoling pale. Fu Si. However, just at this moment, there were 5 muffled miserable cries. Without any warning, the 5 peak martial grand masters with fierce auras stopped breathing and fell over. The cultivators watching on the second floor were all astonished. They looked extremely confused. Amidst the crowd, Xiao Chen held a wine flask. He revealed a faint smile as he unhurriedly poured wine into his mouth. Zhang Ziyang, who was in the hall below, was startled. A manservant behind him quickly went forward to check the noses of the 5 men. When he looked up, he said with a quivering voice, "Second, young master, they seem dead." Xiaoling and Yi Lan felt extremely at a loss. This was a matter of life and death. How did it get settled in an instant? Why are you still not leaving? What are you doing, staring blankly like that? Just at this moment, a voice rang out in the minds of the 2. They felt shocked and started to look around. "Stop looking. You can't find me. Go back." The voice rang out in their heads again. Xiaoling and Yi Lan exchanged looks. They knew that an expert had assisted them. Furthermore, that person did not wish to reveal himself. So they quickly left. Thinking of leaving. Not a chance. Before this matter is fully investigated, no one is allowed to leave. Ah. Zhang Ziyang was filled with rage as he leapt up, trying to launch himself over. However, the moment he rose into the air, it felt like a large hand with an irresistible force pressed down on him. Zhang Ziyang immediately fell down in an extremely comical posture. It was terribly funny. Zhang Ziyang's face was planted on the floor when he fell down miserably. Ha ha ha. Young Master Zhang, this action is something that no ordinary person can do. You must have been practicing for a very long time at home. Xiaoling laughed out loudly as she rushed out of the door with Yi Lan. Bastards. Stop running. Zhang Ziyang smashed the floor with his palm, pushing his body up. Soon, he was back on his feet again. Xiao Chen smiled faintly and set aside the wine flask in his right hand. Then he gently sent out a palm strike with his left hand. A huge force traveled through the air without revealing any signs of its existence. Pa! There was another dull thud as Zhang Ziyang's face was planted on the floor again. This time, he was even more miserable. Half his face turned red and blood trickled out of his nose and mouth. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! I don't believe that I can't stand up. Zhang Ziyang cursed continuously. He circulated his essence and smashed his right palm on the floor once more. As Zhang Ziyang exerted a great force, a strong wind blew and dust kicked up. He soared into the air very quickly. Then, Zhang Ziyang immediately fell flat on the floor again. Pa! 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 Zhang Ziyang tried more than 10 times. His face was now covered in blood. However, no matter how hard he tried, he could not stand up. He had already smashed the floor of the hall until it cracked. Initially, the crowd of onlookers were laughing. They felt that Zhang Ziyang was very comical and funny. When they thought of his domineering attitude, they felt extremely good. However, when the crowd saw his increasingly miserable situation, their smiles vanished. They felt pity for this fellow. Being taught a lesson to this extent was worse than killing him. No matter what the others said, Zhang Ziyang still kept trying to stand up. This time, he carefully placed both hands on the floor and pushed. Zhang Ziyang braced his left leg on the floor and slowly got to his feet. He revealed an expression filled with hope as he steadily straightened his back, gradually succeeding in standing up. The manservant at the side quickly smiled and said, "Young master, you have succeeded." Zhang Ziyang laughed carefreely. Ha ha ha. Playing with me. Damn it. If I know who was the one who did this, I will kill his entire family. Doesn't he know who is in charge in Mohe City? Pa. Before Zhang Ziyang could finish speaking, he slammed back onto the floor, this time with even more force. The sound was very clearly audible to everyone in the restaurant. The crowd felt their chests tighten. Many people could not bear to continue looking. They closed their eyes. This was too tragic. Kill my entire family. Xiao Chen smiled coldly to himself. After his long absence, this group of people had already forgotten the present he left them before. Xiao Chen walked back to his table and put down the wine flask. Then, he tossed a gold ingot on the table before jumping out the window. The strongest cultivator present was only a peak martial Grand Master. These people could not detect what a half-step martial monarch like Xiao Chen had done. This was the difference between heaven and earth. After 4 hours, the manservant sat beside Zhang Ziyang and advised, "Second young master, it's time to get up. Everyone in the restaurant has left already." Zhang Ziyang buried his face in the floor. He was in so much pain he had tears in his eyes. He shouted, "Scram! What does an idiot like you know? You just want to humiliate this second young master. Even if you kill me, I won't get up. My face hurts, do you know that?" In the desolate streets of Mohe City, Xiao Chen slowly headed towards Mo Fan's smithy as he tried to recall the route there. Just like 4 years ago, Mo Fan's smithy looked extremely plain. A weather-beaten signboard hung above the door. It looked like it would fall off at any moment. The door was left unlocked. Xiao Chen stood in front of it for a long time, recalling the scene from long ago. Many thoughts ran through his head as he looked at the lunar shadow saber in his hand. The lunar shadow saber was forged here 4 years ago. At that time, he had spoken to a man 1,000 years gone, promising not to let Ao Zhao cry. Back then, Xiao Chen had not known who that man was. He had not known how powerful this person used to be. Only when he completely understood did he realize how heavy that promise was. That one promise was equivalent to him accepting the Thunder Emperor's sword. She was Ao Zhao, a proud sword spirit. Even with the Thunder Emperor's strength, he could not prevent her fall. Could Xiao Chen? Xiao Chen had a grave expression as he sighed softly. The Thunder Emperor was unable to prevent the fall of the Thunderwood sword. Can I? Still so unconfident, trashy master. Xiao Chen startled before joyfully saying, "Ao Zhao, you are awake already." He remembered Ao Zhao saying that the next time she woke up, she would have completely assimilated the saber spirit. Ao Zhao's lips curled up within the lunar shadow saber. She said softly, "I have been awake since the time you and Lu Ruyu were intimate. I even watched for a long time." Flabbergasted, Xiao Chen asked, "In that case, should I be thanking you for not interrupting me?" Ao Zhao laughed and said, "There is no need to thank me. I have always been magnanimous. Don't just stand there. Go in." Xiao Chen felt helpless. He could not do anything about Ao Zhao. So, he pushed the door open and entered. "The shop is already closed. We are already closed for the day." The small shop was filled with dust. Mo Fan was limping towards a shelf, tidying up some of the weapons there. Xiao Chen asked softly, "Even for me?" Mo Fan's hands paused. Then, he turned around and saw a youth in white robes and a saber at his waist. He revealed a smile and looked calmly at Xiao Chen. "Xiao Chen!" Mo Fan exclaimed joyfully after a long moment. Xiao Chen's appearance was now very different from how he looked 4 years ago. This was especially so for his aura, which was vastly different. When ordinary people looked at Xiao Chen, they would not be able to connect him to the Xiao clan's second young master from 4 years ago. The biggest proof was that no one recognized him when he entered Mohe City. Mo Fan said ruefully, "It really is you. You really changed a lot. If not for the lunar shadow saber, I would not have recognized you." Xiao Chen looked around the shop. When he saw the messy piles of sabers, he sighed and said, "It's been 4 years and your shop has not changed at all." Mo Fan smiled and said, "How much can my shop change? Come in and talk. We can chat as we drink." "Wait a moment." Mo Fan asked doubtfully, "What's wrong?" Xiao Chen did not say anything. He extended a hand and a sword flew out from the weapons rack. The sword was about 1.5 meters long and 3 centimeters wide. It was very light and thin. When it moved in the air, it did not make any sound. Listening to the sword and communicating with it, Xiao Chen shouted and the thin sword vibrated continuously, giving off a melodious hum. Wang, wang, wang. In that instant, all the swords in the shop started humming. When all the swords vibrated together, the room seemed to resonate. Good, we can go in now. Xiao Chen smiled faintly and stopped. Right then, all the humming stopped and peace was restored. Mo Fan felt it was strange. He did not know why Xiao Chen had done this. Ao Zhao, within the lunar shadow saber, clenched her fist. She said grumpily, "This fellow is really vengeful." Unexpectedly, he did not forget what I said from 4 years ago. Back in Mohe City, after the incident in the restaurant, the Zhang clan's clan head, Zhang Yan, led the clan's elites and rushed over. When Zhang Yan arrived, he saw the cracks on the floor and the still prostrate Zhang Ziyang, who refused to stand up. He also saw the 5 men who had collapsed on the floor beside him. Zhang Yan's expression was very sullen as he stood at the doors. He called the manservant over and said, "Tell me everything that happened, in detail." Unexpectedly, 5 martial grand masters had died. A martial grand master was considered an elite fighter in Mohe City. Now that 5 died in one go, he could not help but be in a bad mood. The manservant detailed everything that happened. When he saw Zhang Yan going over to Zhang Ziyang to pull him up, he said anxiously, "Clan head, don't go over and speak to him now. The young master is in a very bad mood." Zhang Yan glanced at the manservant without a care. He thought to himself, "I am his father. What's wrong with calling him to get up?" When Zhang Ziyang heard footsteps, he immediately cried out loudly, "Scram, you idiot! Did you not hear what I said? My face hurts. I do not want to get up. Who is calling me, now? I will not get up." Zhang Yan's expression changed and he immediately kicked Zhang Ziyang, knocking him back. When Zhang Ziyang saw it was Zhang Yan, he made to get up right away. However, halfway to his feet, he seemed to have remembered something scary and quickly lay back down again. "Father, I really cannot get up now. Just ignore me. Let me lie here for a night first. If I do not lie here, I will feel very uncomfortable," Zhang Ziyang said with a sullen expression. Zhang Yan shouted furiously, "Trash! Drag him back. Bring back the 5 corpses for the Lord Emissary to take a look at as well." "There is no need. I am here already." At some point in time, a cultivator in black robes appeared in the hall, floating down from the roof. The black robes had many ancient patterns embroidered on it, making him look very dignified and mysterious. When Zhang Yan saw this person, he quickly saluted him respectfully, "Greetings, Lord Emissary." The black-robed cultivator ignored Zhang Yan and started to examine the 5 corpses. When he turned them around, he discovered bloody holes in their foreheads. That was the cause of death. The black-robed cultivator stretched out his hand and a suction force came from it. That corpse's head started shaking left and right, like there was something stuck in it. Shoo! A tiny fragment came out from the bloody hole. The instant the fragment came out, it suddenly released a surging force. The corpse's head instantly shattered and turned into dust. The surrounding Zhang clan cultivators, including Zhang Yan, were all startled, turning pale. The remnant force was unexpectedly so mighty. How strong exactly was the person who did this? The black-robed cultivator took a look at the fragment and said in shock, "This is a fragment of a medial-grade spirit stone. The attacker is really extravagant." Zhang Yan asked carefully, "Lord Emissary, how strong is this person?" The black-robed man said indifferently, "Probably about medial-grade martial king. Don't bother about this. I will deal with it. Call all the staff of the shop over. That person must have come here. We will be able to find out who it is after some careful questioning." Medial-grade martial king. Zhang Yan's chest tightened. The Shao clan's clan head is only an inferior-grade martial king. Given that this person is a medial-grade martial king, it would be easy for him to kill me. Fortunately, the Lord Emissary is here. A medial-grade martial king would not be a problem. In the backyard of Mo Fan's smithy, Mo Fan took a sip of wine. After he heard about Xiao Chen's problem, he sighed. Back then, when you wrote to me to help take care of the Xiao clan, I have always kept it in mind. However, this time, I can't help you. Xiao Chen's chest tightened. Indeed, there were some hidden matters. That morning, Xiao Chen had heard from the waiter that the Xiao clan's clan head and first elder were severely injured. Xiao Chen had already guessed that there were some secrets behind this. So he was not in a rush to meet with Xiaoling and Yi Lan, he planned to hide himself first. 4 years ago, Xiao Shang was a peak martial saint. Now that 4 years had passed, he would definitely be a martial king already. Someone who could injure him would be a higher-leveled martial king. If it was said that the Zhang clan had pooled their savings together to hire an inferior-grade martial king, that might be possible. However, it would be impossible for them to have enough to hire anyone stronger. If the Zhang clan could do that, they would have ruled Mohe City long ago. There would have been no need for the promise of 10 years. Mo Fan continued, 2 years ago, a sect called the Sacred Heavenly Church arrived in Qizi County. They were very strong. Your father was injured by the emissary of this sect. The Zhang clan is also a figurehead supported by the Sacred Heavenly Church. Xiao Chen gently took a sip of wine. He frowned and said, Sacred Heavenly Church, where are they from? I never heard of them before. Mo Fan said sullenly, I have investigated this Sacred Heavenly Church in detail. Their origin is very mysterious. I also have some guesses about it, but I'm not sure about them. I'll just tell you what I'm sure about. There are 6 cities in Qizi County, each of which has a figurehead supported by the Sacred Heavenly Church. At some point, they had gained control over all the underground powers in the entire Qizi County. I spent some time visiting a few other counties. I discovered that the Sacred Heavenly Church has branches in those counties. Likewise, they use the same method to control the figureheads there. It seems like the entire Great Qin nation has branches of the Sacred Heavenly Church. However, they are active only at a county level, so they do not attract much attention at the prefectural level. Xiao Chen thought about it, but he did not read too much into it. This Sacred Heavenly Church seemed to be just a small player. In the end, what a sect needed to do was display their own martial might in order to truly rule. If such a small power actually angered a strong sect, the problem would be easily settled. The sect would just send a martial monarch. Now that Xiao Chen had a rough idea, he said, Tell me where the headquarters of the Sacred Heavenly Church is. I will make a trip there personally. It would be simple to destroy the Zhang clan. However, the other party could easily raise another power like the Zhang clan. So the one that needed to be dealt with was the Sacred Heavenly Church, not the Zhang clan. Let's not speak about this anymore. Let me pass you something. After obtaining an answer, Xiao Chen changed the topic. He took out that 1,000-year-old lightning attributed rank 9 demonic core and said, Aside from the previous matter, I want to ask you for a favor. Mo Fan took the demonic core and examined it. His expression changed as he exclaimed, This is the core of a rank 9 demonic beast. Brat, where did you get it from? Exactly how strong are you now? Xiao Chen smiled faintly and pointed out, 1,000-year-old demonic beast is already equivalent to a martial sage. That is something that I definitely cannot kill. This was given to me by a friend. I want you to help me infuse this rank 9 lightning attributed demonic core into the lunar shadow saber. Can you do it? Grinning, Mo Fan said, Leave it to me. Although I am still limping after using the alchemic recipe you gave me, the meridians there are healed. I did not stagnate over the past 4 years. Mo Fan agreed without hesitation. He took the lunar shadow saber and the demonic core before going to his forge, refusing the help of Xiao Chen. Sacred Heavenly Church, I hope that would not be too much trouble, Xiao Chen muttered to himself after Mo Fan left. No matter what, the Xiao clan was Xiao Chen's roots in this world. It was impossible for him to stand by when he saw the Shao clan in trouble. That way, Xiao Chen would not be at peace when he left. With so much worry, he would not be able to calm down. Mo Fan would probably need some time to reforge the lunar shadow saber. Xiao Chen did not wish to waste time. So, he took 2 superior-grade spirit stones, then sat cross-legged in the courtyard and entered a state of cultivation. 4 hours later, Xiao Chen felt a strong aura. Someone was probing him with their perception. He opened his eyes and immediately extended his spiritual sense. He saw a strange black-robed man standing on the roof of a house a kilometer away from the smithy. That person was looking with unfriendly eyes in Xiao Chen's direction. The black-robed man withdrew his perception and said in a low voice, "White robes, delicate facial features, no older than 22 years old. It should be this person. However, he does not seem to be easy to deal with. You looking for me?" A voice suddenly rang out behind the black-robed man. When he heard this, his expression changed, and he quickly looked back. At some point in time, Xiao Chen had appeared behind him, looking at him with an expressionless face. Acting all mysterious, die. The black-robed man's reaction was very fast. The instant he turned around, he sent out a palm strike. A fiery red light appeared on the black-robed man's palm. The image of a golden heavenly rock manifested behind him and the fiery red light became more resplendent and dazzling. Berserk Dragon. Xiao Chen remained expressionless. He clenched his right fist and the vital qi in his body surged. An azure dragon head appeared and cried out, giving voice to a resonant dragon roar. The heavenly rock spread its wings and its cry echoed everywhere. Winds blew and clouds churned. However, when the berserk dragon roared, its voice resonated throughout the world. The winds and clouds would break. Bang! When the azure dragon head clashed with the fiery red light, the light shattered and vanished. The black-robed man vomited blood and the golden heavenly rock behind him broke. The black-robed man fell down, crashing through the roof and creating a big hole. After that came a loud explosion. A shock wave spread out and the house immediately collapsed, burying the black-robed man. This was the result of a gap in power. The black-robed man was not even a superior-grade martial king. How could he be a match for Xiao Chen, a half-step martial monarch? Xiao Chen remained high in the sky as he coldly watched the black-robed man. Murderous intent gleamed in his eyes. A piercing bird cry came from the rubble below. Countless fragments shot out from the rubble, floating in the air. The black-robed man soared up and the golden heavenly rock reformed, appearing stronger this time. Berserk Dragon Claw. Xiao Chen's figure flickered. He was so fast that the black-robed man could not react. Then, he swung the dragon claw on his left hand. 5 bloody wounds appeared on the black-robed man. The golden rock behind him cried out miserably. Its feathers scattered and it turned into a golden light. You are an intolerable bully. Bang! 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 The black-robed man roared ferociously. The golden rock reformed once again and rushed at Xiao Chen. The fiery red light looked very solid, dazzling, and piercing. You are not strong enough. Berserk Dragon Break. Xiao Chen shook his head. With a thought, a dragon head appeared on his right hand and a dragon tail appeared on his left. The head and the tail connected to each other, forming a complete dragon. The dragon gave a resonant roar as it soared into the sky. The realistic azure dragon bared fangs and claws as it roared. The black-robed man's clothes were tattered. He vomited mouthfuls of blood before falling to the ground, unable to climb back up. Shoo! Xiao Chen's figure flickered and arrived before the black-robed man. He lifted up the black-robed man like an eagle grabbing a chick. Then, he said coldly, "Why are you coming after me?" The black-robed man was very pale. He laughed strangely and spat blood at Xiao Chen. Bang! A purple flame spewed out from Xiao Chen's right eye and immediately burned the blood into a mist. It was so hot that the black-robed man cried out in pain. Xiao Chen remained calm as he said in a cold voice, "I will ask one more time, one last time. Who are you and why are you coming after me? The black-robed man smiled fearlessly. He said, if you have the guts, then kill me. I am just a minor character in the sacred heavenly church. It would be useless even if you killed me. You are Shao Chen, right? Just wait for the Shao clan to be destroyed. In the black-robed man's opinion, Shao Chen had to worry about the Shao clan, so Shao Chen would not dare to kill him. Boom. Shao Chen lifted the black-robed man higher, and then he tossed him up. The black-robed man felt an irrepressible fear. Just as the black-robed man was about to speak, he cried out in pain, then stopped breathing. Shao Chen had shot out from his eye a purple flame arrow, which pierced through the black-robed man's forehead. In that instant, regret flashed in the black-robed man's heart. However, there was no more chance for regrets anymore. Shao Chen looked at that black-robed man's corpse as it landed on the ground. He said calmly, it is just an insignificant sacred heavenly church. I don't really care about them. So, you can go and die. Shao Chen picked up the black-robed man's corpse and returned to the smithy before more people came. 4 hours later, Mo Fan emerged from his underground forge, looking very tired. He held a brand new lunar shadow saber snug in its scabbard as he came out. When Mo Fan saw the black-robed man's corpse on the ground, he was stunned. He said, this is the sacred heavenly church's emissary to Mohe City. You killed him. Shao Chen nodded and said, yes. He is just a minor character. There is no need to care about him. Let me see the saber. Ka. When Shao Chen held the saber's hilt, he felt its surging energy. He drew the lunar shadow saber slightly and the pitch-black saber immediately released a purple light. The saber fired out arcs of dazzling electricity that leapt around non-stop in the backyard. Ka-ca. Shao Chen took one step forward and completely drew the saber from its scabbard. Instantly, a dazzling purple electricity lit up the entire backyard. He had not used his energy at all, it came purely from the lunar shadow saber. Mo Fan smiled and said, now, the lunar shadow saber is truly a superior grade heaven-ranked spirit weapon. It overflowed with light, giving off a bright radiance. It is now 20% mightier. Shao Chen revealed an excited smile as he said, I knew you could do it. Thank you. He sheathed the saber and took out a 1,000-year-old spirit herb, the black profound ginseng, which handed to Mo Fan without letting him refuse. Smiling, Shao Chen insisted, stop rejecting it. You have taken care of the Shao clan for so long. You also helped me by forging the lunar shadow saber twice. As far as logic and emotions go, I owe you. A 1,000-year-old black profound ginseng could increase Mo Fan's cultivation by 20 years. It was very tempting for him. Ha ha. I shall humbly accept, then. What do you plan to do next? Mo Fan asked. Shao Chen grasped the lunar shadow saber tightly with his right hand. Then, he said calmly, very simple. Solve the problem at its roots, kill them all. Since they are a threat, I shall just remove them all. Shao Chen could not be bothered to consider other methods. There were only a few months to the 5-nation youth competition. All the genius cultivators were cultivating very hard, waiting for that moment. Shao Chen did not have too much time to think. Mo Fan asked, do you not have any intention of going to the Shao clan? You have done so much. If your father knew what you've done, he might reconsider. The suggestion stunned Shao Chen slightly. Then, he revealed a bitter smile and shook his head. There is no need. Since he chased me away, he probably has his own reasons. I'll just take a look from afar. I'm leaving. Shao Chen smiled faintly and waved his hand, taking his leave of Mo Fan. The Heavenly Jade Mountain was the largest mountain range in Qizi County. Even the Seven-Horn Mountain outside Mohe City was not even half its size. However, the Heavenly Jade Mountain was not even worth half of Seven-Horn Mountain. This was because there was no spirit vein there, no spirit herbs, no spirit beasts. This was a desolate mountain. However, On this desolate mountain of no interest to anyone, a vast castle had appeared on its summit at some point in time. Although the castle was large, it was very low profile. It was hidden in the green forest. Unless one flew in the sky, it would not be discovered. There were cultivators holding bows every few meters along the castle walls. They were alertly looking around everywhere. The castle seemed to have an impregnable defense. This castle was the Sacred Heavenly Church's headquarters in Kizhi County. After Xiao Chen obtained the details from Mo Fan, he only used half a day to rush over. "What do you plan on doing?" Ao Zhao asked from within the lunar shadow saber. Hidden in the clouds, Xiao Chen looked up and watched the setting sun. He replied softly, "Wait for the sky to turn dark." With his spiritual sense, the so-called defenses of this castle was just a joke. Everything was plainly visible to him, there were no secrets. There were 5 martial kings in the castle. However, only one was a superior grade martial king, the rest were inferior grade martial kings. The 5 martial kings did not interest Xiao Chen at all. He could finish them off easily. This was why Xiao Chen did not really care about the Sacred Heavenly Church. It was developing. All its plans were nothing before absolute power. However, Ao Zhao was not as unfazed as Xiao Chen was. She said, "Have you thought about how they have 5 martial kings in this insignificant Kizhi County? Think about the entire nation, how many bases the Sacred Heavenly Church has. They are not that simple, for them to have this number of martial kings here." Smiling, Xiao Chen replied, "Naturally, I thought about it. So we will wait until it is dark. When everyone here dies, they will be truly hurt. This group of people will know that they cannot afford to offend the people they have offended. So, they will withdraw." Ao Zhao smiled and said, "You are not stupid. I don't have to worry, then. Go do what you need to." As the sun set, dusk came, followed by pitch black night. After clouds filled the sky, the entire world was shrouded in darkness. Xiao Chen opened his eyes and looked at the brightly lit castle. His lips curled up as he rushed down. In Mohe City, in the Zhang clan's courtyard, the hall was filled with people. All the elite martial grand masters and above in the Zhang clan gathered here. All the martial saint guest elders were here as well. The Zhang clan's clan head, Zhang Yan, was seated in the center of the hall. By relying on their rapid development in the past 2 years, the Zhang clan, who controlled most of the businesses in Mohe City, managed to hire several experts. There were tens of martial saint experts and hundreds of martial grand masters. Zhang Yan himself was an inferior grade martial king. In Mohe City, he was considered a peak expert. With such power, he was unstoppable in Mohe City. Even the once glorious Shao clan could not stop him. As for the Has-Been Tang clan, they were now not even comparable to a third-rate clan. At this moment, the atmosphere in the hall was very solemn. No one spoke. Some people looked excited, some cautious, some grave, some doubtful, and some eager. Finally, an aged elder could not help but ask, "Clan head, are we really going to attack the Shao clan tomorrow? Didn't we already agree to the city lord's terms?" Zhang Yan said sullenly, "Originally, I was planning to wait for a period of time. However, after what happened in the restaurant the other day, I'm afraid that the situation has changed. We can't wait anymore. However, I heard that the Shao clan's second young master is a disciple of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion. Will that be a problem?" A young cultivator with small eyes asked worriedly. The moment that cultivator spoke, all the cultivators present who experienced the event 4 years ago revealed frightened expressions. Zhang Yan's chest tightened as well. 4 years ago, when he led the troops to destroy the Shao clan, he had been lucky to survive. It was fate that allowed the Zhang clan to gain the glory it had today. As for the Tang clans and the Leng clan's clan heads, they had died. Their clans went into decline as well. However, the Zhang clan's clan head calmed down and smiled. He said, "There is no need to be afraid. Now, we have the Sacred Heavenly Church's protection. So what if Shao Shang's son is excellent? Is my first son not excellent too? He is now a core disciple of the Misty Sword sect. Furthermore, that brat had already been chased out of the clan by Xiao Shang. What are you worried for? This is the best opportunity we have. While the Xiao clan believes that we will honor the agreement with the city lord, we can deal them a fatal blow, which they will never recover from. As long as the Xiao clan is not destroyed, we cannot rest in peace. Let's vote to decide this. Those who agree to attack tomorrow, please raise your hands. Most of the cultivators present did not hesitate to raise their hands. Destroying the Xiao clan was equivalent to obtaining vast resources. They would definitely obtain plenty of benefits. Naturally, all of them were willing to try. When the minority of cultivators who were cautious saw the situation, they could only raise their hands helplessly. Zhang Yan said in satisfaction, "Very good. We will move out tomorrow morning to wash the Xiao clan in blood. From now on, to maintain secrecy, no one is allowed to leave this hall." Fu Si. At this moment, in the castle on Heavenly Jade Mountain, Xiao Chen began his massacre. At his hands, the sacred heavenly church that the Zhang clan's clan head valued so much was like vegetables on the chopping board. They all died quickly. He could not even be bothered to draw the lunar shadow saber. Such difference in strength was like an uncrossable gap. Their advantage of numbers was just a joke. From the moment Xiao Chen descended, the fate of the crowd in the castle had been decided. They had no way out. Miserable cries resounded. No one could stop Xiao Chen in the castle, nor even delay him. In the hall at the highest point of the castle, the 5 martial kings, who were in charge of the place, were glaring at Xiao Chen with murderous intent. Under the feet of the 5 was a flight of steps with more than 1,000 steps. Xiao Chen casually punched twice and a surging fist wind blasted the final 2 black-clothed cultivators in his way in half. Finally, Xiao Chen arrived at the foot of the steps. Then, he slowly floated up, looking at the 5 in front of him. The strongest person there was a superior grade martial king. With such cultivation, it would not be wrong to say that he was the strongest person in Qizi County. However, that was still insufficient to deal with Xiao Chen. That person's black robes were clearly heavier than the others. The ancient patterns were more complicated as well, making him look more dignified and solemn. The first martial king from the left looked at Xiao Chen and said coldly, "Friend, no matter for what reason you came for, you still can leave now. Let me tell you clearly, the sacred heavenly church is not an opponent that a peak superior grade martial king can offend." Although he was afraid, his tone did not indicate that he was panicked. Xiao Chen countered in an icy voice, "Idiot. Did I say that I am a peak superior grade martial king? Ka Ca." Xiao Chen quickly drew the lunar shadow saber at lightning speed. A dazzling purple light flashed and an extremely fast saber chi flew out. The one that spoke was immediately hacked in half. His body exploded and was reduced to a pool of blood. We judged wrongly. This person is a half-step martial monarch. Split up and report to headquarters that we are giving up Qizi County. The person in the middle looked very surprised. He quickly moved backwards and the remaining 3 people ran in different directions. The 5 people had thought that Xiao Chen was only a peak superior grade martial king. With their combined might, they should be able to kill Xiao Chen. However, the 5 had not expected that when Xiao Chen drew his saber and exposed his strength, he could kill them in an instant. Such a difference in strength could not be made up for with numbers or tricks. Roaming Dragon's 9 transformations. Xiao Chen's figure wavered and split into 4. Then, he chased after the 4 black-robed men. A cool breeze blew and all of Xiao Chen's killing intent vanished. But before the 4 people could react, an overwhelming killing intent erupted out. The person who was the leader dodged at a critical moment. The other 3 people failed to react and were killed in one blow. All the Xiao Chens merged back together and his saber lit up with an extremely resplendent purple light. Under the huge pressure, the black-robed man closed his eyes in desperation. Roar! Just at this moment, a resonant cry sounded from afar. A golden sword light came flying, blocking Xiao Chen's saber. Bang! The weapons clashed and generated a powerful energy shock wave. A strong wind blew, carrying off all the fallen leaves. A potent force spread from the saber. Xiao Chen could not help but take 10 steps back before he could stabilize himself. He was astonished. Unexpectedly, the other party's force was stronger than his. Although Xiao Chen had not used that much strength, this person who just appeared was an expert. The person who arrived also wore black robes. However, the pattern on his robes was embroidered using gold thread, which lent it an ancient dignified air, a much more sumptuous honor. The new arrival wore a mask that covered half his face, looking very mysterious. "Young master, this subordinate is incapable. I made a misjudgment. That person is a half-step martial monarch," the superior-grade martial king on the ground said in horror as he knelt. The masked man smiled faintly and said, "You go first. The foundations of Kizi County are gone. There is no need to come back in the future." The other man seemed like he was relieved of a burden as he quickly ran off. Suddenly, the silent Xiao Chen asked, "Although you have changed your voice, you seem familiar. Who are you?" The person under the mask did not deny it. He smiled faintly and said, "Honestly, I expected that with your character, you would enter into closed-door cultivation to prepare for the 5-nation youth competition. I did not expect you to spare some time to run to Mohe City." Xiao Chen said coldly, "You are just telling half-truths. Let's see who you really are." Boom! Boom! Suddenly, a boundless strong wind blew in the night sky. As Xiao Chen moved his saber, the clouds in all directions quickly gathered above him. This was the preparatory stance of the lightning tribulation saber technique, moving cloud and wind. Strong winds blew, clouds drifted, moving together with the wind. Dang! The masked man smiled faintly. He did not feel any fear when facing the strong Xiao Chen. The golden heavenly rock behind him spread its wings and a dazzling light turned into a sharp sword chi. When the weapons clashed, the two moved back. The two forces were equal, causing both to retreat 100 meters. The center of the gathering clouds in the sky also moved back 100 meters, always remaining above Xiao Chen. The second move of lightning tribulation saber technique, gathering cloud and wind. As Xiao Chen swung his saber, the wind and clouds merged together, immediately forming a huge whirlpool above him. When the masked man saw this mysterious phenomenon, a carefree smile appeared on his face. Lightning tribulation saber technique, interesting. Let's see how far you have trained it. The image of the golden heavenly rock behind him flickered under the masked man. It bore him into the air, increasing his speed by at least threefold. The dazzling sword light instantly arrived before Xiao Chen's face. The heavenly rock flapped its wings, creating a strong wind. Xiao Chen's hair and clothes fluttered non-stop. To face this sword strike at peak speed, his saber quickly gathered the energy from the wind and clouds and blocked. Bang! An intense shock wave burst forth. The 1,000 steps below the two shattered into rock fragments. The vast energies of the two clashed in the air, giving off a blinding brilliance in the night sky. Xiao Chen quickly circled around in the air, dissipating the force in the saber. He could only describe his opponent's attack as fast. The attack was so fast that the force that it carried was equal to a peak superior grade Earth-ranked martial technique. In fact, it might even be stronger. Boom! Suddenly, a peal of thunder roared kilometers high in the sky. Wind and clouds gathered from all directions. The first 3 moves of the lightning tribulation saber technique were finally completed. Clouds from all directions gather, lightning wind chop. Xiao Chen shouted ferociously. Riding the huge momentum, he executed the lightning tribulation saber technique's 4th move. There was a total of 9 moves in the lightning tribulation saber technique. The first 3 moves gathered momentum and energy, the middle 3 moves brought lightning, and the final 3 moves called down the lightning tribulation. This was the essence of the saber technique. After this saber technique was executed, the mysterious phenomenon was like a true lightning tribulation. It slowly gathered and erupted in the end. With the support of saber intent, Xiao Chen brought out the great might of this lightning wind chop. Winds blew, clouds drifted, thunder roared. Starting with the momentum of wind and clouds, the might of the lightning that erupted was the lightning wind chop. The saber vibrated and lit up with bright purple lightning fire. When the lightning illuminated the sky, Xiao Chen's handsome face appeared stern. The masked man smiled faintly. His expression under his mask was as carefree as before. He evaluated softly, "Not bad. Advancing with the wind, gathering momentum with the clouds, and using lightning as a spear. You have grasped the key points of this move. Unfortunately, you are still lacking in your comprehension of the state of wind. This is not how wind blows." The masked man's gaze was as sharp as a knife. He was able to figure out the intricacies of this attack with one glance. Then, the golden light behind him became more dazzling. An intense state of light illuminated the night brighter than day. Shoo! The masked man thrust his sword forward. In that instant, the boundless golden light gathered on the tip of his sword. The previously bright night became dark once again. In the darkness of the night, only the sword tip was boundlessly resplendent. The golden heavenly rock spread its wings and cried out, and a strong wind immediately blew. Then, the spot of golden light shot out from the tip of the sword. The golden light fired out at Xiao Chen together with a strong wind. As the golden light moved, its intense energy made the surrounding space ripple. Xiao Chen's expression changed slightly. The strong winds from the golden heavenly rock unexpectedly suppressed his wind. With his wind suppressed, the clouds above showed signs of dispersing. Without the wind and clouds, the might of the lightning would be 20% weaker. Boom! When that spot of light crashed into Xiao Chen's saber, the state of light exploded out and the dark night scene lit up again. Xiao Chen was knocked back like an released arrow. His internal organs were shaken, his qi and blood surged, and blood trickled out of a corner of his lips. The masked man held his sword as he stood upright. A sword intent circled around the sword, making it hum. He smiled faintly and said, "Don't display a newly learned saber technique before me. You should not play around with the lightning tribulation saber technique like that." Xiao Chen's expression remained calm. He was not too concerned with what was said. Then, he replied, "Don't be so sure about that. As long as there is wind, the clouds will not scatter. With the wind and clouds, the momentum will not be lost." The moment Xiao Chen spoke, the strong wind that the golden heavenly rock created unexpectedly started spinning around him, under his control. The clouds above began to gather again. Xiao Chen increased his momentum and immediately used the fifth move of the lightning tribulation saber technique, falling lightning chop. This move was not fancy at all. It simply used the might of heavenly lightning descending from the sky as it chopped down on the masked man. Bang! The masked man was slightly astonished. Clearly, he had not expected Xiao Chen to react so quickly. Surprisingly, Xiao Chen used his opponent's wind to regain his momentum. Dang! In the time it took to strike a spark, the masked man quickly swung his sword. The blades clashed and sparks flew everywhere as a huge electrical force exploded. This move forced the masked man to move back several hundred meters. Cracks spread through the golden heavenly rock behind him, as if the rock would burst at any moment. Interesting. The masked man smiled faintly and casually waved his hand. The golden heavenly rock behind him shattered and turned into 9 pillars of light that descended from the sky, surrounding his body. Dang! Xiao Chen did not give the masked man much time to react. He quickly leapt into the air and, utilizing the momentum of wind and lightning, he executed the lightning tribulation saber technique to attack once again. Dang! 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 After the golden heavenly rock scattered, the masked man seemed to have become stronger. With protection from the 9 pillars of light, he remained rooted to the ground without moving at all. A sword danced around him, giving off a resplendent light as it tightly defended the masked man. It blocked Xiao Chen's attacks over and over again. When the masked man basked in the radiance, he looked holy and solemn. As the intense saber and sword intense clashed, the shock waves demolished the vast castle around them, leaving it in ruins. When Xiao Chen had raised his momentum to the limit, the thunderclouds finally started to surge. He executed the first of the lightning tribulation saber technique's final 3 moves, shouting loudly, "Earthly lightning tribulation." All the lightning-attributed spiritual energy in the entire heavenly jade mountain gathered at Xiao Chen's saber, resonating with the thunderclouds above. This move connected heaven and earth. It turned the boundless tribulation formed by the electricity of earth into a saber technique as it surged forward. Bang! The ground everywhere except for 1 meter around the masked man exploded. A circular deep pit appeared around him. Countless clods of dirt floated in midair, enveloped in electricity. Heavenly lightning tribulation. Xiao Chen's expression did not change as he executed the 8th move of the lightning tribulation saber technique. At this moment, all the lightning-attributed spiritual energy in the sky turned into 9 bolts of heavenly lightning and descended, gathering on his saber. The 9 purple bolts of lightning were like berserk flood dragons. They tore the night sky apart as they came down. Space shattered before this saber technique. The golden radiance around the masked man turned into solid golden sand that danced around him. Like before, he did not move as he forcefully resisted this attack. Boom! The circular pit around the masked man rapidly enlarged. Soon, the entire mountain peak was blasted apart by this attack. The electricity from the attack crushed all the rocks that flew up into dust. As the cloud of dust settled, a rock pillar appeared under the masked man's feet. This pillar was more than a kilometer tall. The surrounding mountain peak, the forest, and the castle had all been reduced to dust. That's enough. Seeing that Xiao Chen was going to execute the final move of the lightning tribulation saber technique, the masked man finally acted. He casually brandished his sword and the sky filled with a solid-looking light. The light turned into a sword and fired towards the surging thunderclouds above Xiao Chen. Heaven and earth are righteous, overwhelming man. The stars are above and the mountains and rivers below. With the bright universe here, how can one fear demons? Suddenly, a resonant song came from the mountains and forests, like a choir of 10,000 people singing together. All of heaven and earth moved to the song. Overwhelming righteous incantation. This is the official sword art of the Tianwu dynasty. How does this fellow know this? Xiao Chen thought in shock. The sword in the sky became brighter along with the singing. Eventually, it became so bright, it could not be looked at with the naked eye. Then, it immediately scattered the boundless thunderclouds in the sky. Dispersing the thunderclouds naturally forestalled the execution of the strongest move of the lightning tribulation saber technique, divine lightning tribulation. Xiao Chen paled slightly as he calmly analyzed the situation. Although he still had the stronger 4-season saber technique, he guessed that he only had a 50% chance of victory over this mysterious masked man even if he used it. The masked man clearly still had more trump cards available. The masked man smiled slightly and said, "Still going to stop me? Go back and prepare properly. With your strength now, it would be hard for you to enter the top 10 of the 5-nation youth competition." As Xiao Chen watched the masked man disappear, he asked Ao Zhao, "Do you recognize the ancient patterns on his clothes?" Ao Zhao thought for a while and said, "That is the attire of the Tianwu dynasty's royal clan. These patterns are actually the writings of the royal clan. They are written using an artistic manner of calligraphy." It was as Xiao Chen had expected. Then, he closed his eyes and thought for a long time before opening his eyes again. He said, "I know who he is already. The attire of the Tianwu continent's royal clan, the strong state of light, a surging sword intent, and an eternally carefree disposition, who else could it be aside from that person?" However, Xiao Chen had not expected this person's strength to have risen so much after not meeting him for 1 year. Ao Zhao said seriously, "This person is very powerful. All the remaining luck of the Tianwu dynasty is in his hands. His potential is unlimited. He is your greatest enemy." Xiao Chen said calmly, "There is no need to care about him. Let's go." To where? Now that we've killed the big fish, it is time to roust the small fries. Xiao Chen summoned the scarlet throne and closed his eyes as he sat on it, replenishing his exhausted essence. He quietly flew towards Mohe City on a raft of scarlet clouds in the dark sky. Behind him, only a lone stone pillar remained of the largest mountain in Qizi County, the Heavenly Jade Mountain. A cloud of dust shrouded the area, not settling for a long time. After 4 hours, before twilight, scarlet clouds appeared a kilometer above Mohe City. Xiao Chen opened his eyes. He had recovered from all his exhaustion. His eyes now radiated a brilliant flicker and his aura was completely withdrawn, everything seemed peaceful. He stood up and walked to the edge of the scarlet cloud. Then he looked down and fixed his gaze on the imposing residence of the Zhang clan. Shoo! The scarlet throne turned into the beam of red light and returned to his forehead. Then, he gently floated down. In the darkness of the night, Xiao Chen landed and stood on the Zhang clan's walls without a sound. When he saw a group of patrolling cultivators, he flickered his fingers and sent out 2 clumps of purple flames. The purple flames flew out like arrows and bloody holes appeared in the foreheads of these cultivators. Then, they fell to the ground without a word. Xiao Chen extended his spiritual sense and quickly discovered something unusual taking place in the hall. Hundreds of elite martial grand masters, tens of martial saints, and the Zhang clan's clan head were all gathered here. Some people were sitting cross-legged with their eyes closed, some chatted with one another, and some drank tea as they chatted. The atmosphere of the brightly lit hall seemed very strange.